edition of Cohasset Comment. I'm your host, Town Manager Chris Sr., and on this episode, as we close out 2021, we meet with Larry Corthell, the President of the Chamber of Commerce, to take a look back and a look ahead at the business year. We'll take a tour of Town Hall and see what's going on with holiday doors. And we'll hear about an oncoming story trail sponsored by the library that'll run right here in the Cohasset Comment. That and more on this week's edition of Cohasset Comment. And now we're going to take a look at the business community here in Cohasset, a little bit looking back to 2021 and a little bit of a preview of 2022 with the President of the Chamber of Commerce, Larry Corthell.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Welcome to Cohasset Common.
Thank you.
So it's been an eventful year here in Cohasset, and particularly here in the village.
Yeah, we had a rough 2020 trying to keep everybody afloat, keep the businesses open. We had some closed. We had the masking. So 2021 pretty much started the way 2020 ended, and we had some of the masking bans lifted in the spring. Businesses got up and running again, and we haven't lost anyone in 2021, so everybody stayed afloat. And looking forward to 2022, we have a couple of new businesses coming in. We just had some new businesses come in the last 2 months. So we have a new restaurant in town, Fire and Stone. We have a new hair salon on Main Street, Wildflower. And Jeff Carter, who's a local resident, has purchased the old hardware store, the Abington Bank building. So he's moved in upstairs. And so I think it's going to be an exciting year as far as filling some vacant spots. Word is the Dooley's location is rented and should be opening soon. So all good things.
So before we turn to 2022, and I know we have some exciting news on that front, so let's talk a little bit about 2021. As you said, the beginning was kind of a challenge as we're coming out of the pandemic. One of the things I've noticed is a lot more vibrancy in the village. There's definitely more people out walking around, and as you said, the businesses have been able to I think turn the corner a bit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. So I mean, in my opinion, if you have people that are working from home, working remotely, and they're not on the train all morning and in Boston, there's more opportunity that they're coming down for lunch, they're shopping, they're getting a coffee at Seabird. So there's definitely more foot traffic. And that's generally what retailers ask for. Give me foot traffic and I'll do the rest. So it's been good as far as that goes.
Yeah, I've noticed that with some of the restaurants. In fact, even at 5 South, which I stop into occasionally, I was talking to Brian Henneberry, the owner, and he doesn't even want to open up any more indoor tables. Number one, because he's doing such a great takeout business. But two, he's also having staffing trouble. So I guess that remains a challenge, particularly with some of our restaurants, even our retailers are finding people to provide staff.
Yep. I'm having that problem at the bank. I'm in Hingham now and Cohasset, and I'm trying to hire 3 full-time people, and I've been on this since September and not having much luck. So, I mean, yeah, it's especially in the restaurant business, you hear it across the board that they can't hire staff. And I know it was that way through the summer, but yeah, it will probably continue.
Now, I do know that we just finished, we're here in December, a great holiday stroll. So tell me a little bit about how it came to be.
It was tough with the stroll because the last one we did was 2019, and I mean, we really pushed it. And we had it in about, 8 or 9 towns. And so this year I was apprehensive about spreading it that far. I attended the Hingham downtown holiday celebration, and it was a good crowd. It wasn't a giant crowd, but it was a good crowd. And I think one thing, and I used to run that event, so one thing I wanted to do different here was, rather than promote the event itself, but to promote what the individual businesses would be doing. So if you had a rainy night, which we almost did, but we lucked out, there would be something to draw you to a business. And we did a really good job of that in 2019. Every business stepped up, sent in what they were doing, whether it was cookie decorating or ornament decorating, or they had a musician playing. Everybody had something. And and we got back to that this year. We had to stay conservative and not have 40 people packed into Fleming's or into Darylyn's. So they did a great job of that. And I noticed people when they went inside masked up. And yeah, we had a big crowd. I'd say, from what I talked to the police, we were figuring about 4,000 people showed up.
Wow!
And we had a good tree lighting. Everybody liked the new tree on the common and in the pond. And we had Santa. We kept Santa moving rather than sitting stationary, and that worked out great. And he made his rounds. So yeah, and then half an hour after we finished up, it started to rain again. So we really found a little niche of time and used it.
Good, you lucked out with the time.
Yeah, yeah, and well, because this Saturday would have been the rain day,
right?
And it was worse,
right?
So we did it.
So how would you say what's the mood you feel in the membership right now? I think people get a little more optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wait and see. I mean, we knew this. I mean, watching news reports about COVID, we knew it wasn't going to go away,
right? And
obviously now it's morphing into other things. But you get new bases of normal. And you work with it, and you get used to it. But I think you just try to accent the positives of what you can get positive out of it, and we've had some positive change, and we'll continue to.
I mean, I think it's the businesses really have kind of adapted a bit. Clearly, the restaurants are doing a lot more takeout business than they ever did before.
Yeah, and this is it's funny. This is probably the longest amount of time that we've been consistent with the same businesses in town without a lot of turnover. We don't have for lease signs everywhere. For example, when Dahlia left, there was already a new tenant to move right in, and some of these departures have nothing to do with Cohasset or the village. I know Dooley's didn't. It had nothing to do with business. It had mainly to do with a family-run business in a location that was 30 miles south of any other location. So that was a different issue. So yeah, I feel with all the things going on, developing the harbor, developing Elm Street, there's an attention on the village. And I think the businesses will prosper from that. So
both the town is now taking a harder look, the select board, the planning board, the zoning board, about zoning, taking a look at the zoning, special town meeting approved some funding for kind of a zoning analysis. And I know that the village is central to that. Work's already begun on Elm Street. Anyone's been driving on it knows the water mains are being replaced, and the Cohasset Harbor is starting to come down. By the time people see this, it may be mostly down. So that's coming down. That's a sign in that, and that's going to be an ongoing project. And you were talking about Mr. Dooley. So the select board just this week approved 2 new licenses for downtown, and one of them is for the Mr. Dooley's property. It's going to be the Ore they've announced, and it's the owners of Nantasket Flats in Hull. Right. So that's going to be a vibrant spot again come spring. And then the Tedeschi's location, which has been vacant for years because they had a lease that 7-Eleven acquired and wouldn't let anyone move into. That's finally expired. And we understand, because they came in front of the board, that the Barrel from Hingham is coming in.
Which is the Cracker Barrel on Main Street. It's been there forever, and this ownership has it titled the Barrel. And they did, I'll tell you, if you go in there on Main Street, there's not much square footage, but they make the most of every inch of that building, and they're great. And I think they'll be great for the community. They'll be involved. They've always had a presence at the Hingham 4th of July parade. So that's going to be great for Cohasset to have them here.
And they were very excited because the store here is twice the size of the space they have in
Exactly.
Hingham.
So, yeah.
So it's going to be kind of an upscale convenience store, I guess is what we're looking at. So it'll be great. There'll be sandwiches, and you could pick up some beer or some bread or some chips or something. So, well, it's exciting. So we actually have a little, as you said, there's been a little bit of turnover this last year with some new businesses. We also understand Akron Sale is leaving, but I understand there might be another business coming in there from Hingham.
Yes. I'm not going to say much about that at this point, but yes, it will be, the location will be filled up immediately.
So actually, that would fill up pretty much all the storefronts in town again.
Yeah, we would have nothing up for lease, and I look at at our website, at our social media, and there's always, every month by month, we have more hits on the site. And the funny thing is, these are coming from out of town. So Cohasset is getting noticed, and so that's a good thing.
Well, I know there's apart from some of the new businesses coming into town, this South Shore Irish Heritage Trail.
Yeah,
So we'll hear more about.
Yeah, so I'm involved with that. It's very exciting. So we're going to have the website is being built for each town, but essentially 9 towns starting in Weymouth, ending in Plymouth, with basically every town in between Hull, Duxbury, Kingston, Cohasset, Situate, and right down the line will be involved in the Irish Heritage Trail. So there'll be a master website, and then each town will have its own site. The Irish government is involved with this because they know there's more Irish blood from Weymouth to Plymouth than any other area in the United States. And that's something, people of Irish descent should be very proud of. And so from my standpoint, one of the things I was always trying to help push was day trippers coming to Cohasset, coming to Hingham, Situate, working their way down to Plymouth, which is the end destination. But rather than take Route 3 to Plymouth, take 3A. Right. And the Irish Heritage Trail is basically running down 3A. And there'll be individual websites for each town giving you history, and then a locator on your cell phone to bring you to that location, narrate to you what happened there or what piece of history is there. And I think it's a great opportunity that we'll have people visiting Cohasset, stopping for lunch, shopping, touring the town, and who knows, that might open up avenues for a residential mortgage or a purchase of a house. We get a lot of people over the last year have called me for loans that said they were headed to Situate to look at a property but drove through Cohasset, fell in love with Cohasset. So there's a lot to offer here. And it's sort of, to me, just like a hidden gem. So I think that'll be an exciting thing that will launch in the spring.
So it sounds like 2021, a bit of a turn back. Businesses are stable. We have a couple of new businesses in the village, as you noted. And it looks like 2022, fingers crossed, we get through the winter.
Yeah.
And what's going on with COVID. As spring turns, we'll have some new businesses opening up. And we have this Irish Heritage Trail, which we'll be talking more about in the spring.
We may be having, depending on the COVID situation, we may be doing a spring event. The plan is to still have our Earth Day townwide cleanup and then tie an actual event on the common in with that. And then we're looking at something for October too, and then holiday stroll. So it sounds like a busy year.
It's exciting 2022 ahead. So. Well, thank you. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up our segment?
No, just wish everybody a happy holiday if this airs before, or happy New Year too.
All right. Well, thank you. Larry Corthell, President of the Cohasset Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for joining us on Cohasset Common.
Thank you so much.
Common, and it's looking a little barren, but I understand it's not going to look barren for too much longer.
No, not too much longer. The Paul Pratt Memorial Library, sponsored by the Cohasset Cultural Council and the Friends of the Cohasset Library, are bringing to you Storywalk, which is a setup of multiple displays that have 2 pages of a picture book on each display. So as you come to the Common for a nice walk, a nice chilly walk, you'll be able to read your story as you stroll through the park.
So this is something I know you got a grant for, and you were looking for places to do it, but unfortunately you couldn't permanently install at the library, the ledge and the rocks and everything.
Right, yeah, so we ran into a little hiccup in our journey here with the Storywalk, and we went to permanently place it at the library, and the ledge was too thick. So we had to think of a creative way to continue the Storywalk, and actually what we've come up with I think is better than our original idea. And we've used a Christmas tree stand to secure the Storywalk. This also makes the Storywalk mobile. So if there is a group in town that's interested in having a Storywalk at their establishment, please let us know. We'll put you on our calendar, but we hope to have the Storywalk travel around town, sometimes at the library and other times other places. we're very excited to spread stories through the town of Cohasset.
So one of the exciting things, as you said, Megan, is there'll be different stories. So tell us a little bit about the story that's going to be coming for the very first edition.
Sure. So our first winter story is going to be called Bring Some Kindness, Share Some Light by April Stote.
So actually, as you said that, we have kids coming out very shortly from the preschool, so parents could literally come over, walk the trail, and again, you're going to be setting it up kind of on the pond side of the common, right?
That's right.
And it'll be on the left side, because again, we read our books from left to right.
That's it.
So it'll be kind of like along the middle path of the sidewalk, right? Is that the plan?
Yes. So we'll have 11 out front and then 11 coming down the middle of the pathway.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
And again, so it'll be 22 of them. That's the
22 altogether. Yeah.
Okay. How'd you come up with the idea? Where did this come from?
Oh, great question. So this is something we thought of during COVID. We were very interested in keeping the library very relevant in town and making sure that we're still in everybody's lives and we're still helping out, we're still spreading literacy skills. So this is an idea that came from that. We're hoping to still, unfortunately we're still kind of in COVID, so this will be a nice activity for folks to go and do when they're trying to keep to themselves this winter.
Right. But again, the key is you could be outside, you could take your kids and read a great story about a girl and her friend Bear. Huh?
That's it.
Spread some kindness, spread some light.
Share some kindness, bring some light.
Share some kindness, bring some light. Okay, so I've got to read the book apparently. So what's the plan? You're going to have, these will be set up, so late December, is that the plan?
Yeah, mid to late December. These will be up for a month here at the Common, and then you can check out our website for the next location and the next story.
Okay, you can link to the Paul Pratt Memorial website from the town website, from a Facebook page, and again, it should be a lot of fun. So you'll see these all along the Common coming up in late December and right through January. So come, take a walk, and read a story. What a great thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else you want to tell anybody?
No, that's it. Thank you again for having me. I appreciate it, and we're looking forward to spreading some kindness and sharing some light.
Well, thank you, Meghan James from the Paul Pratt Memorial Library. Come on down to the Common, read a book as you walk. So one of the new traditions we've developed here in Town Hall is door decorating. And we kind of take you on a little tour of the town, and if you come in with me, we're on the second floor, you'll take a look and you can see what the town manager's door looks like. Now, I take none of the credit for any of this work. This is all done by staff. And you can see there's been a lot of fun and creative work. And if you come down the hall a little bit this way, you'll see the treasure collector's done a fun job. Let's keep going. So I'm here with Lisa Legg from our assessor's office. Tell us a little about the fun with the door decorating.
We've had a great time. Everybody came up with their own original idea, and a few of the departments decided to drop the gauntlet and wait till the last minute to do door decorating. And this is one of the best door decorating committees I've seen around. This is the facilities department. They've done a great job. They incorporated the lights. They took it to the next level. Super creative.
We got an interview too. You want to
Should we walk down the hall?
Yeah, have a look.
All right, let's go down the hall. We can see what everybody else has done. We have Mary Quill, who's the director of assessing. She decided to use the Grinch theme. In a world full of Grinches, be a Cindy Lou Who. There you go. And then Jane from the tax accountant's office decided to showcase her beautiful grandchild. Very, very merry. And then the assessors did Chilling with My Snowies. This is Mary, our director of assessing, Rachel, the assistant assessor, myself, and we've got Casey, the snow dog. But be careful down here. You don't want to get caught under the grand holly tree, or mistletoe, I guess it is. That's Brian. Santa's coming. We've got the DPW door, do not cross, zoom, zoom, zooming. He's always on a Zoom meeting, very creative. And then over here we have the sewer department. Always a meeting in progress, but they did a great job with the three-dimensional aspect. We've got the Christmas bells and a little snow. And that'll do it.
All right, welcome to the Planning Board office. We have a Gingerbread Road Estate subdivision here. This subdivision is complete with a cul-de-sac and a hammerhead that are consistent with specs for these types of roadway regulations. We also have a community mailbox and a brand new installed fire hydrant. I'd also like to note that this development uses open space standards. It preserves the natural forest and ledge in the gingerbread land. Thank you.
From all of us here at Town Hall, we wish everyone in Cohasset a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
All right. One more. How do you say?